Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, members of the committee. I have to start by saying I could not be prouder to be in fellowship with people like Ms. McKinley, who are standing up for the hardworking people of this state and for the future of our state's economy. My name is Jennifer Epps-Addison. I am the Executive Director of Wisconsin Jobs Now. We are a statewide, community-based organization fighting to expand freedom, opportunity, and economic security to all hardworking Wisconsinites. We organize directly affected citizens door to door and workplace by workplace to take collective action to improve their community. And along with nearly 40 other community organizations in the city, in Milwaukee County, we help to spearhead the Milwaukee County Living Wage Ordinance and pass it with a veto-proof majority on the county board. Today, with a coalition that has grown only stronger because of the attacks on local control, we, along with organizations representing hundreds of thousands of Wisconsinites, are demanding that Republicans stop the attack on local control, stop playing politics with the lives of struggling families, and stop doing the bidding of corporate interests who seek to undermine our democracy through a legalized system of bribery. Let me explain. Supportive home care options boss Sally Springer came up here and told you a lot of disingenuous, untruthful things. But what she wouldn't tell you is that she gave over nearly $50,000 to GOP politicians in the last year, including several $1,000s in legal bribes to a member of this committee, Senator Leah Vukmir. She couldn't tell you that, honestly. But then she
Mr. Chair.
Senator Farrell,
Mr. Chair, this is Senator Farrell. I apologize. I have to stop this testimony. She's impugning one of the senators on this committee, and I am not going to sit quietly and take this anymore.
You raise a valid point, Senator Farrell. Nobody around here, I mean, what you say just completely discredits everything you're saying. People who know Senator Vukmir know that she is one of the most principled people you're ever going to find in the legislature.
This is the same state senator that is under investigation for not complying with open records requests. This is the same one, in fact, Mr. Chair?
I am the author of the bill. I don't have to be told by a campaign contributor this is obviously good public policy. And for you to imply otherwise, well,
Mr. Chair, what I am implying.
Go ahead. You can finish about why you feel this.
Mr. Chair, what I am implying is that Sally Springer, while she came up here and gave you untruthful testimony, has donated more to Republicans in the last year than most of her workers could make and earn in more than 3 years. That is what I am implying. If you don't think that that gives her a separate access to the state Senate, then it gives her workers who are struggling in poverty. That is your prerogative. So first and foremost, let me make something very clear. I want to get some facts out. I know everybody's been saying that, but let me help, hopefully, to get some out. First and foremost, Milwaukee County is the economic engine of this state. There can be no doubts about that. The city of Milwaukee alone gives $2.5 billion in shared revenue funds that funds programs in local communities across this state. Contrary, Mr. Chair, to your assertion, it is Milwaukee County that does not get its fair share in state revenue, not the other way around. To suggest that the people of Milwaukee, are anything other than a revenue booster for the state's economy is as disingenuous as it is factually incorrect. Here are a few other facts. Fact 1, the state minimum wage is $7.25. It is absolutely disgusting that the author of this bill would have the nerve to testify at this hearing without knowing what the minimum wage is. It shows he is completely out of touch with the people whose lives he's playing politics with. Second, there are over 140 communities in the United States that have living wage ordinances on the books. Over the last decade, dozens of studies, including one done just last year by the nationally renowned Center on Wisconsin Strategy, found that beyond a shadow of a doubt, living wage ordinances are universally proven to do only one thing, and that is to raise wages for low-wage workers. That same study, as well as numerous other national studies, have shown that on average, living wage ordinances, over 150 of them to be proven, increase costs to local municipalities less than 1/2 of 1%. Again, that is less than 1/2 of 1%. Third, living wage ordinances allow working people to support themselves and their families without reliance on public assistance programs. Without living wage ordinances, taxpayers foot two bills. First, we pay for the public assistance programs relied on by workers who are paid poverty wages by some of the most profitable corporations, not just here in Wisconsin, but across the nation. Living wages are a commitment to taxpayers that our money will not be used to subsidize the profits of corporations at the expense of our neighbors and fellow taxpayers who are suffering through poverty while providing the most critical services to our communities. Fourth, let's understand who we're talking about. That question has been asked many times. The contractors that work in our county facilities, that work at our airport, and that help to provide home care are not your mom and pop shop. That analogy is completely not correct. We are talking about corporate interests who are doing well enough to donate $50,000 to state Republicans. $50,000! That, again, that's more than 3 times what most of their employees could hope to make in an entire year, sometimes in 2 or 3 years. And the businesses we're talking about in Milwaukee County, for the most part, are large, multinational corporations that have a business model predicated on making huge profits for contracts funded almost entirely by taxpayers. Fifth, by his own admission, and you would know this if you looked at the committee hearing testimony, the Milwaukee County Comptroller's report is a worst-case scenario. So and this is a big if, the wild predictions sprinkled throughout his political propaganda were actually to come true, then Milwaukee County would absorb 100% of the cost of implementing this ordinance. It would be the only municipality in the country to do so. Sixth, everything in Supervisor Alexander's testimony was complete and total malarkey. It was completely derived by talking points of conservative hype men, and I will wrap up very soon, of conservative hype men that have no morals when it comes to playing fast and loose with the truth. I'm not going to spend a lot of time outlining point by point what was false, because so much of it was, but let me be clear about this. There is no automatic exemption for the union. Whatever that means in the first place, since a union is nothing more than an association of workers who have decided to use their collective power to gain a better work environment for all. The Milwaukee County Living Wage Ordinance and nearly every living wage ordinance in the country recognizes the freedom of contract when workers have some semblance of parity to their employer. The exemption in the Milwaukee County Living Wage Ordinance provides that workers can choose to use their power to bargain collectively to set standards for their work environment beyond what the Living Wage Ordinance provides. This could mean that they can negotiate for health care or earned sick time and choose to make a concession on their cash wage. Or it would mean that they have the freedom to contract for a higher wage, more than 100% of the federal poverty line for 4. The point is that they make those decisions at the bargaining table. Fact 7. Sorry, and I'll be done. Saying SEIU 3 times in the mirror will not make the boogeyman appear. This living wage bill was passed with input from more than tens of thousands of Milwaukee County residents. It was supported by a coalition of more than 40 organizations. It had multiple hearings and went through nearly 20 different iterations.
Yeah, we got a 6. We've given you over twice as much time. So appreciate you being here, and if you have
Appreciate you being here. If you have any testimony, you can hand it out, and we'll try to read it. Now we'll go on.